For 12 years, India told the world that Pakistan must be isolated. No talks, no engagement, no diplomacy. The BJP government repeated one line again and again. Talks and terrorism cannot go together. That became New Delhi's official doctrine, its political and its regional strategy. But now, something appears to be changing. First, Rajnath Singh says terrorism has no religion or country. Then the same Rajnath Singh, India's defense minister, quietly announces the conclusion of Operation Sindhoor. No victory speeches, no war hysteria, no threatening rhetoric. And now, RSS General Secretary, the Teria Hosabele says that the doors for dialogue with Pakistan should not be closed. The same RSS, widely seen as the ideological mentor of the BJP, the same ideological ecosystem that spent years turning anti-Pakistan nationalism into political capital. And suddenly, the tone is changing. These statements do not appear accidental because within India's power structure, RSS, BJP government, and the security establishment rarely move completely out of sync. So, the question is, are these merely personal opinions? Or is India quietly preparing the ground for a new Pakistan policy? I'm Ali Furqan, and you are watching The Pivot. In this episode, we will explain why India's rhetoric toward Pakistan suddenly appears to be changing and what may actually be happening behind the scenes. The sequence does not look coincidental. If you look carefully at the sequence, because timing matters in geopolitics. First, Rajnath Singh tells the Shanghai Cooperation Organization meeting, terrorism has no religion or country. Internationally, this may sound like a routine statement, but in the context of Indian politics, it is a significant signal. Because for years, India tried to directly link terrorism with Pakistan and Islam at global forums. So why this sudden shift in tone? Then, Operation Sindhoor is quietly brought to an end. And again, notice the language. No aggressive celebrations, no muscular posturing, no escalation rhetoric. And after that, RSS General Secretary speaks about keeping the doors of dialogue open with Pakistan. Then, the former Indian Army Chief General Manoj Narwane also supports engagement and people contact with Pakistan. And not just that, former Raj Chief A.S. Dalit, who is long known as supporter of back-channel diplomacy, again pushes for the need for dialogue. Seen individually, these statements may appear ordinary, but when placed together, they no longer look random. They begin to look like signaling. Perhaps not a full policy shift yet, but certainly preparing for one. And that leads to the most important question. What exactly changed in New Delhi? Did Pakistan's Maarka-e-Haq change India's thinking? Perhaps this is the real turning point. Because after Operation Sindhoor, India appeared diplomatically uncomfortable, regionally isolated, and internationally unable to secure the kind of support it expected. New Delhi believed pressure on Pakistan would increase, but the outcome was far more complicated. India wanted to isolate Pakistan, but questions started being asked from India itself. The talk of engagement with Islamabad coming out of New Delhi may also be a face-saving exercise ahead of Pakistan assuming the SCO presidency later this year. In 2027, Pakistan will chair the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, heads of state process, and host multiple ministerial events. And since India is a full member of SCO, New Delhi cannot indefinitely avoid coming to Islamabad. Because if India ends up boycotting SCO events under Pakistan's presidency, its own commitment to multilateralism and the SCO framework would come under question. Something India would clearly want to avoid. Which is why these statements may not just be about diplomacy, but also about preparing political space, testing waters, and creating a future face saver. And Pakistan should watch this evolving shift very carefully. And what should Pakistan do? In my view, Pakistan should observe India's changing tone strategically, not emotionally. Because it is not necessary that India genuinely wants serious dialogue or conflict resolution with Islamabad. Perhaps this is simply an attempt to improve international optics, reduce diplomatic pressure, or prepare the ground for another strategic maneuver. Islamabad will need to distinguish between genuine policy change and temporary tactical signaling. According to sources within Pakistan's Foreign Office, if New Delhi demonstrates seriousness, Pakistan may welcome an initiative for dialogue. But Pakistan has also learned an important lesson over the past 12 years. How to deal with India even without dialogue, and that changes the equation completely. Today, Pakistan is not thinking from a position of desperation, but from strategic patience. Which means, if future talks do happen, that will not look like the past. For years, India insisted there would be no talks with Pakistan. But now suddenly, the rhetoric is changing. Military language is softening, and ideological voices are now signaling flexibility. This may not yet be a full policy shift, but preparation for one is clearly visible. And if that happens, South Asia may be entering a very different geopolitical phase. This was today's The Pivot. I'm Ali Furqan. Thank you for watching.